horror fans, once again, it's the Horror Miser Monty G. Yes, time to do recap for last night's pretty interesting episode of The Walking Dead. Yes. Now we all kind of know that we got the time jump with 6 years now. So what's been going on with everyone since 6 years have gone on? Everyone believes Rick is dead. Well, a lot's been happening. We see that Eugene has now become sort of a badass. Yes, taking walkers out with efficiency, real quick and fast. As we saw last week's episode, Judith rescues, let's see, Magna, Luke, Kamiko, Connie, and Kelly. Those people from last week's episode. While in the forest, we see that Aaron, Rosita, and Laura and Eugene were looking for Judith, and they find them, and they decide to take them back to Alexandria, but not before Judith lays down the law, saying, if they don't go, I don't go. So they decide to take them back to Alexandria. Unfortunately, Michonne is not having any of this, because she's now in charge of security there. She has her own problems right now, because she's still grieving for Rick, who she thinks is dead. But that's what's been going on with some of the people there in Alexandria. Also, we see that Alexandria has flourished, too. When they get back, they got these nice setup with the plants. Everything is set up nicely. They even got a fucking windmill. Wow. A lot's happened in Alexandria in the past 6 years, but what about the other communities? Well, we'll find out about those, too. First, the kingdom, we see that the Queen Carol, she's got long locks now. And we also see Henry, who's now a big teenage Henry. They're trying to fix the pipes because the building is old. Everything is old there. And they're trying to do everything to fix it very well. Henry wants to go to Hilltop so he can train, so he can be a better fighter. At first, King Ezekiel doesn't want him to go because they have some type of fair that he needs him for. But he relents, and Carol and Henry pack up and go to Hilltop. They're mentioning about, well, what about her? Well, things haven't been the same since, that happened. What happened? Are they talking about Maggie? Are they talking about Rick? But we don't know. Obviously, something happened, but we don't know. But I'm pretty sure that's something that we'll learn probably throughout the season. But Carol and Henry head over to Hilltop, whatever that's going to be, and saying that they promise they will be back before the fair. Meanwhile, back at Alexandria, we now have a council where Gabriel is leading the council, and they have the newcomers. And they ask them 3 questions. Who are you before? What are you now? And what did you do to survive? It's something similar to the questions Rick used to ask for people that used to come for their group. I forget what they were. But it's the same thing. I thought that was pretty fascinating. While everyone is about to decide what to do with the newcomers, Michonne spots something on Magna, and it's prison tats and a secret belt buckle knife. Uh-oh, doesn't look like they're staying long, and she walks out of the council room, and it looks like the newcomers won't be staying for long after she does that. On a side note, I would want to say that actress Lauren Ridloff, who plays Connie, Kelly's sisters, is actually deaf herself. So you gotta give kudos for The Walking Dead and AMC for casting an actual deaf actress to play this character. So we gotta give them credit for that. And she seems to be doing a pretty good job as Connie, because she is part of the comics. And also, Gabriel's now hooked up with Rosita. What? This preacher's putting his thing down. Way to go, Gabriel. Gotta give Gabriel credit. When Eugene and Rosita decide to go, because they have this radio equipment that they're trying to reach other people that are out there, but it's not reaching further, they decide that they need to go further despite Michonne's it's against it because it's a security breach. But Rosita and Eugene decide to go near a water tower so they can see they can boost the signal so they can reach anybody. And we have this nice conversation with Eugene saying that why can't you go with something like me? Because if you know in the comics, they actually do get together. I believe it was after the war with the Saviors that Eugene and Rosina do get together. I think they get married too. I'm not sure, but I know they are together in the comics, which I found fascinating. We also learned that the sanctuary has fallen when Henry is led to an easy trap by Jed and some ex-saviors. They eventually take everything everything that Carol and Henry have, including Carol's wedding ring that Ezekiel gave to her. Oh no, that's not good at all. Jed says, you know what, since you spared my life, I'm going to spare yours. I'm going to leave the horses, and I'm going to leave you and Henry alive. Despite the fact Henry tries to fight back, Carol protects him. This pisses Henry off a lot because he remembered when he was young and where Carol taught him. taught him. But as we all know, you don't want to fuck with Carol. She tracks down the ex-saviors, takes her ring back, and burns all the ex-saviors alive at the gas. Oh man, Carol is such a badass. Yeah, like I said, you don't fuck with Carol. And one of the best moments of the show, we see Judith is trying to do some homework, and her and Negan, obviously, based upon how the conversation is, they had this nice little relationship, which is something similar that Negan has with Carl in the comics. But since Carl is dead on the show, so they decided to implement that relationship here on the TV show. Now, I found it fascinating what Negan tells Judith when Judith tells him about the newcomer that she brought into Alexandria, but she said, my mom, Michelle's not going to let them stay. So Negan brings up a nice analogy about stray dogs he used to bring into his house, and then there's one stray dog he brought in there that wasn't like the others. It wound up killing the others. So he was probably saying it's like, don't watch what happens when you bring strays in, because they might eventually kill you. But Judith just retorts back and saying, you know what? I think that there's good in everybody, and everyone deserves a chance to be saved. And if you're not going to help me, I'm going to go somewhere else. I thought that was a nice scene. One of the most interesting scenes that we saw in the film is while Michonne is undressing, we see that she has an X on Brandon on her back. We have no idea where that came from, but I'm pretty sure we'll know that story will come into play as well. And another thing about Michonne, she has a child. Yes. It's RJ, Rick Jr. It looks like she got pregnant prior to Rick's apparent death. And she now has, I think he looks like he's 2 or 3. When Magda decides to come in and I don't know what she was going to do, she sees the child and then she relents and hands over the pocket knife over to Michonne. This causes Michonne to reconsider her decision to let them leave, and said that she will escort them over the hilltop, and she will try to convince her to let them in. Again with the her. Are they actually talking about Maggie? Well, obviously, since Lauren Cohen is no longer on the show, like I said, she's overdoing this new show called Whiskey Caliber, and she's not on the show anymore. So obviously it has to be somebody else besides her, but we don't know who her is. But I'm pretty sure we'll find out. And at the end of the show, when Eugene sees a herd of walkers coming down, he tries to get down from the water tower, but he falls and I guess sprains his knee up. He and Rosita get over to this ditch, and they cover themselves up in mud to hide their scent. As the walker come by, we hear them talking. Where are they? They can't escape us. Walkers talking? Actually, they're whispering. Is it that the walkers are evolving, or are we getting ready to see the whisperers? Well, it's probably the whisperers, more than likely. We all know that the whisperers are going to be part of this season. The character Alpha, who is the leader, was cast, and she's going to be played by Samantha Morton. She has a daughter, Lydia. She was cast. She's going to be played by Cassie McClinty. I think I had pronounced that name right. And the second in command, known as Beta, Ryan Hirsch, is going to play him. Is going to play that character. So obviously, we know that the Walkers are coming. But as far as I thought that scene was pretty good because obviously nobody doesn't know them. But it was nice to see that the Walkers evolving. They're talking. Walkers don't talk, but it's more than likely it's the Whisperers. So, my horror fans, what do you think about last night's episode? Was that a nice episode? Do you think that they're finally doing something good for a change, and we won't see the staleness that we saw in the past last season? Leave your comments down in your comment section below and tell me what you thought about last night's episode of The Walking Dead. Well, that's my video for today, guys, and if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and share because it does help the channel out a lot. And once again, if this is your first time here, please hit that subscriber button, ring that notification bell. That way you can come and enjoy the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser Monty G. And as always, all my social media links will be down in the description box below as well. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember, horror rules. I will see you guys later. I'm out.